good? What's good? What's happening? What's cracking in? It's your boy Mitch Wayne, the number one cracking in on yeah. What's good? This is Mitch Wayne, the number one cracking in on the internet. I guess. If you want to call me that, you can call me that. It's been a while since I streamed. I don't even know if I've streamed since the year started, but boy's a college graduate, a new year, new life, new jobs ahead, new opportunities, I don't know, actually just kind of going back to a lot of the old same, new videos, same girl, same city. If you're looking for me, same city, same friends. If you're looking, I'll be here just swinging. Don't talk to me like I'm famous. Don't assume, cause I don't expect assumptions, babe. So here we are, right? Here we are on January 13th. It's Saturday morning. I'm not gonna stream for that long. I gotta go work out in a little, and I just wanted to say what's up to the people and get some more footage, you know, because we're out here. Dallas is about to experience a little freeze. They call me Lil Freeze. And you know, when you live on the first floor of an apartment building, it doesn't matter how much heat you pump into it. The floors are always cold. The toilet's always cold. The toilet, bro, there's nothing worse than waking up. I like the heat. I like hot weather. I like it. I don't care. The cold makes me feel sick all the time. Makes my toes hurt. And there's nothing worse than waking up, getting out of your bed in your comfy bed. You're all warm. And then you got to go walk to use the restroom and sit down on a cold toilet seat. That's how I know I'm not really built for life 100 years ago. Because a cold toilet seat ruins my day. It's hard to restart my day. Speaking of ruining my day, let's get our day started a little better with a Celsius, huh? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Luckily, this show isn't worth $1 in advertising right now, or else, you know, I'd be more concerned. So, what are we to do other than ask ChatGPT for a little fact from this day in history? And on this day in history, January 13th, 1128, that was about 900 years ago. A little slight 900. Pope Honorius II officially recognized the Knights Templar as a military order under the protection of the Church. This significant event played a crucial role in the Crusades and the history of medieval Europe. The Templars, known for their distinctive white mantles with a red cross, were established around 1119 to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. Their official endorsement by the Pope marked a turning point, allowing them to grow in wealth, power, influence, and eventually became one of the most formidable and wealthy military orders in Christendom. There's a lot of conspiracy that surrounds the Knights Templar. It's a really dope concept. I'm surprised there hasn't been like more movies made about it, or maybe if there has, I'm not completely familiar with them. What's going on here? This is upsetting me. This is frustrating me. All right. Posture's on zero. Gotta get this posture game up. So anyways, the Knights Templar. There's a lot of conspiracy surrounding them, but I did ask ChatGPT to make a cool retro future 8-bit pixel art of this moment. And it did, and that's pretty dope. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. I'm going to use that for something. So, I mean, we could dive into the Knights Templar and all that. Based off my limited knowledge without, going with random stuff that I've heard on Twitter throughout the years, they were just some, There's just some wild boys back in the day who were knights that were, like they said, protecting pilgrims, Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. And then eventually they became a military order, and they were like a big. They were supposed to. Apparently, they started off as like that. They were protecting Christian pilgrims. They were like these, holy warriors, I guess. And then over time, the order became corrupt, and they became too powerful and influential, and basically like the military arm of the Catholic Church, I believe. Is it the Catholic Church? Yeah, of like the Pope or something. And then they went against the Pope because the Catholic Church was, corrupt and not whatever. And then there was also apparently, just like every classic order, some concerns about underage boys being not treated properly, I guess is what we'll say. So, but that's over like many, many years. Like, when was the Knights Templar disbanded? There's no like official day. 1312. Under pressure from King Philip, Pope Clement V reluctantly dissolved the Knights Templar in 1312. Let's read into this a little. The fall of the Knights Templar. So they established in 1193. The fall of the Knights Templar. In the late 12th century, Muslim armies retook Jerusalem and turned the tide of the Crusades, forcing the Knights Templar to relocate several times. So yeah, Jerusalem, Holy Land, same Holy Land as today. Same old. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what side you're on, how you feel about whatever. It's just interesting how, we know so much history, but we don't learn from it. And peace is a crazy thing. The fall of Acre in 1291 marked the destruction of the last remaining Crusader refuge in the Holy Land. European support, Additionally, many secular and religious leaders became increasingly critical of the Templars' wealth and power. That's the main thing, when people start becoming too wealthy and powerful, especially, your little night gang or whatever it might be. Dude, I'm pasty. This winter has not been well for me. I'm sorry. This white screen off my white skin. Like I said, the greatest cracking in on the internet. But people start getting wealthy and powerful. They start being like, actually, I don't really want to do what you want to tell me to do. I got my own plans, my own strategies, my own ideas. Especially when they're, 3, 4, 5 generations removed. This is 200 years later. By 1303, the Knights Templar lost its foothold in the Muslim world and established a base of operations in Paris. King Philip IV of France resolved to bring down the order, perhaps because the Templars had denied the indebted ruler additional loans. These monarchs, man. French Templars were arrested in 1307. Brutally tortured until they... Oh, yes. This is the thing. So... They were brutally tortured until they confessed to false charges, which included heresy, homosexuality, financial corruption, devil-worshipping, fraud, spitting on the cross, and more. A few years later, dozens of Templars were burned at the stake in Paris for their confessions. So they dissolved in 1312. The group's property and monetary assets were given to a rival order, the Knights Hospitallers. However, it is thought by some that King Philip and King Edward II of England seized most of the Knights Templars' wealth. Dude, that's so messed up. And when you think of like modern times, modern things, like, I don't know, bro. There's definitely something going on right now that there's some people doing something that is going to be holy and justified now and then criminalized later. And you know what? There's people that also overtake holy, and when I say holy, I don't even necessarily mean religious or whatever. I just mean spiritual, justifiable causes, whatever they may be. People just Listen, in history, there is very, very, very few politicians that we look upon fondly. That is like one of the only classes throughout history that very rarely do we look at statesmen, even before they were considered statesmen, as, you know, when they were monarchs or whatever they were, and maybe they just get blamed for some messed up stuff, but I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. All I'm saying is, like, down with the system and stuff like that, for real. It's not dope. Not dope at all. The Knights Templar today, boys and girls, so 900 years later, the Catholic Church has acknowledged that the persecution of the Knights Templar was unjustified. Oh, well, good. I'm glad. That's really good. The church claims that Pope Clement was pressured by secular rulers to destroy the order. These secular rulers, bro. Unbelievable. While most historians agree that the Knights Templar fully disbanded 700 years ago, there are some people who believe the order went underground and remains in existence in some form to this day. In the 18th century, some groups, most notably the Freemasons. This is on history.com, by the way, so I don't know what YouTube trips out about. I'm just reading off of history.com. Most notably, the Freemasons revived several of the medieval knight symbols, rituals, and traditions. I've heard of that. Throughout the years, various tales have surfaced about the Knights' mysterious work. More recently, stories about the legendary Templars have found their way into popular books and movies. Some historians have claimed that the Knights Templar may have secretly guarded the Shroud of Turin, a linen cloth believed to be placed on the body of Jesus Christ before burial, for hundreds of years after the Crusades ended. Another widespread belief is that the Knights discovered and kept religious artifacts and relics, such as the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant, and parts of the cross from Christ's crucifixion. So it's a widespread belief, but I don't know. That would be cool. I would like to see some of those things. Dude, again, Jesus is another one of those people, regardless of religion. Like, I mean, in Islam, Jesus is a prophet. Jesus Christ is one of those people that, like, historically speaking, incredibly interesting person. He was extremely impactful, regardless of whether or not you're a Christian or not. It's just kind of crazy that some of those, like, people just live like that, you know? Various other ideas and myths accepted by the Knights Templar. Popular novel and film The Da Vinci Code presents the theory that the Templars were involved in a conspiracy to preserve the bloodline of Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Or what the crap, man? What the crap? Actually, though, that's actually nuts. I guess, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen The Da Vinci Code. And I think I should. Baby girl, we gotta watch The Da Vinci Code. Oh, God. That's pretty crazy. So, although much of these speculations are considered fictional, there's no question that the Knights Templar have provoked intrigue and fascination and will likely to continue to do so for years to come. Boys and girls, there you go. There you have it, the Knights Templar, right here. These little 8-bit warriors. This is kind of sick. I'm going to use this for something. Download. Excuse me, download. Save image. Whoa, guys, chill. Don't look at what's on my stuff, guys. We'll just save it like that for now. File wasn't available on site. We'll download it a different way. So that's that. And then I asked, can you give me an interesting fact related to human-computer interaction on this day in history? And then Chat Jerry said, while it's difficult, it's challenging to pinpoint a specific event directly related to human-computer interaction that occurred on this exact day in history, which I find hard to believe. Every time I do one of these fun facts, they always come up. There's something that, I feel like HCI, as a field, human-computer interaction has probably been around since like the 60s, 50s, because humans and computers haven't really interacted since before then. So a lot of these, I'm like 64 years. There's definitely something on like 365 days a year, 64 years. That's a pretty considering how much has happened in the field of human-computer interaction in that amount of time, it's a pretty high likelihood that on most days something has happened or related. But maybe I'm off. I'm no statistician. I'm no probabilitist. My probabilities aren't in check. But anyways, while on this day in history there is no exact event directly related to HCI, which I find hard to believe, Chat Jerry. I find it real hard to believe, brother. The first touchscreen was developed by E.A. Johnson at the Royal Radar Establishment in Malvern, United Kingdom, in the late 1960s. This early version was a capacitive touchscreen, primarily used for air traffic control until the 1990s. However, it wasn't until the early 2000s that, with the advent of smartphones and tablets, that touchscreen technology became widespread and fundamentally changed user interfaces, making HCI more intuitive and user-friendly. Right. This innovation is a testament to the dynamic and evolving field of HCI. So, since I was reading that in a British accent, I didn't understand what I was reading at all. So there was a touchscreen. The touchscreen was made in the 60s. And then I asked it to do a little depiction of that again because I like ChatGPT's little pixel art, bro. It's kind of sick. And that's really dope. Really, really dope. I'm a big fan. Big fan, Chat Jerry. Now, I doubt it looked anything like this, but this is a really cool idea of what the first touchscreen could have looked like. And maybe it did. I don't know. Oh, no, it didn't. It looked like this. The evolution of touchscreen technology. I saw a picture. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I bet it looked something a little bit more like this. What is a capacitive? Capacitive. Am I spelling that right? Capacitive. Got you. Capacitive. Uses the conductive touch of a human finger or a specialized input. Oh, so it's like that makes sense. Oh, see, there you go. You learn something new every day. UTD should have taught me this. Capacitive. When like it acts like a capacitor. It's like whatever it's called. So yeah, that's cool. And that's just a touchscreen. I mean, imagine the world without touchscreens, you know? There would be no nothing. There would be no nothing. Touchscreens. Have you ever tried to type something on a touchscreen where you have to like actually touch it, like dee, 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 like not on your phone or even on the iPad, right? Where you have to like whatever. While touchscreens are obviously the superior way, I guess voice plus touch is gonna be the future. But even then, what if you need to be quiet? Then you have like brain interface. But I have a hard time believing people are going to be down with brain interfaces. But what do I know? I just think typing is like people always are going to want to do whatever the easiest thing for them is, right? So that's why touchscreens like ended up being the killer thing. And yeah, I don't know. It just seems like the more that we go into the modern world and interact with things, like, I don't know, I think about, like, the airport where if you ever have to, like, check in and type in, like, if you check in by yourself and you type in on the screen anything, like, bro, that adds so much time that you could really just, I don't know. We're going definitely more towards, like, more touch, more voice, more QR code, but it's definitely something to think on. It's interesting. So 60-some years of touchscreens, and here we are. I'm still using a mouse. Would I be able to do this without... I mean, like, I don't know. That's a fun idea. Guys, I'm going to get a touchscreen computer so that I can... But that's not good for gaming. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. What would the Knights Templar do, you know? What would they do? They would probably have their little minds absolutely blown to pieces by the fact that we have the ability to communicate with anyone, anywhere. They would probably not be surprised that there's still conflict in the Holy Land, though. I will say that. So, next, this is something really cool that I wanted to look at and dissect. And you kind of have to scroll down so that you can read it, but this company or something called Visual Capitalist, they make a lot of really dope visualizations that I want to make some cool. I disabled it, I promise. I'm not looking at it with ad blockers. Population of U.S. states combined with countries. They just make all sorts of really cool visualizations, and instead of me going and making all these different visualizations on my own, I'll just use someone else's and give them the credit. So this is 50 years of video game industry revenues by platform by Pallavi Rao, and the article and editing is by Niccolo Conte, and graphics and design by Clayton Wadsworth. But this is called Visual Capitalist. I found it recently. I subscribed to their newsletter, and they have an app, a lot of cool stuff, but high quality research, high quality visuals. So 50 years of video game revenue, 1970 to 2022. Incredible. This says inflation adjusted for 2022, so that probably has to do with over here. I mean, the first thing that pops out to me whenever, we were just talking about touchscreens and stuff like that, but the first thing that pops out to me is this little quadrant over here. I wish I could. Can I make this big? There we go. Nice. So the only thing you can't see over here is it says 1971. Oh, can you? Well, this is 1971. Arcades adopt video games with early classics like Computer Space and Pong. So that's 1971. That's kind of like when they start this little mapping of video game revenue. But like I said, the first thing that really pops out to me over here is in like 2007, iPhone launches, and then by like before 2015, it looks like, if I'm just kind of eyeballing this, it has about equal amounts of revenue as PC gaming. And then once we get to 2022, I don't know if this is like collective revenue or just like by each year, but if it's collective revenue, that's actually scary, because 101 billion, it's doubling, more than doubling PC gaming, and it's everything combined it's basically double console and PC gaming together. And another interesting thing that you see right here is that arcade gaming, while it was obviously the most popular thing in the 80s and 90s, it dips down, but it never goes away, so it's definitely one of those like retro kind of techno. I feel like it's definitely one of those things like vinyl or whatever that's always going to have a space. And then there's also these new places, like there's this place here that you can go to. There's a few places, but you can go reserve like a booth, and they've got Switches and Xboxes and all this stuff, and food and drinks, and it's a cool, if you're hanging out with your homies, or if you're going on a date with someone who's a gamer, or someone who wants to play games, whatever. So those are the first things that stand out to me. But let's just go through each of these points and see kind of where it takes us, because I'm also trying to see too, like, it's kind of hard to read this in like a timeline kind of way and see like a jump in 2020, but you do kind of see a jump in revenues post 2020 once COVID happens and all that. Across the board, PC and mobile games spike incredibly. Console does a bit, but not nearly as much, because obviously, I mean, even myself, I think like right before COVID is when I got my first PC, surprisingly. But so 1971, arcades adopt video games with early classics like Computer Space and Pong. 1977, so 6 years later, the Atari 2600 is released. So here we have the marking of the beginning of console gaming. bringing Space Invaders and Pac-Man into homes with swappable game cartridges. So, 1977. That was my whole lifetime before I was born. That's crazy. 1982, Pac-Man is the highest grossing game for the third year in a row. Oh, wow. Good for Pac-Man. That's also, too, when, dang, like, how do you, yeah. 1983 to 85, oversaturation of low-quality games crashes the industry. Console revenues fall over 90% from 1983 to 1985. Sounds like a lot of other industries that are kind of on the fringe of things like that. Sounds a lot like crypto. Tech was going through its own little boom here, but of course, games are an easy thing for people to be dismiss and be like, yeah, y'all are just doing your little nerd thing over there, paddling around on your piddles. You know what I'm saying? So that's interesting. Console revenues fall over 90%. I wonder if this is going to tell us like when the Sega Genesis came out. When did the Genesis? Sega Genesis. And this is, let's see. 1989. 1988 in Japan. 1999 in the US. Oh, so the same time as the Game Boy. Is Sega an American company or Japan? Sega is a Japanese company. Wow. We gotta look into that some more. Sega. So back to this. 1989, when Nintendo launches the Game Boy. That's incredible. 89. Dude, I don't want to be old like that because I'm really glad I grew up when I did, but I wish I could go back and experience like all this like kind of analog gaming technology, if you will. It's not necessarily analog, but in the true sense, but you get the point. 1991 to 94, Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat 2 are released with congressional hearings on violent video games soon after. Now that is something special because, I mean, if you look like the graphics on Street Fighter 2, like that's really good. Yeah. We'll just do a little quick gameplay. I mean, imagine being like, this is far too violent. And then so many years later, we have, I mean, like, yeah, Warzone is like one of the most popular games. GTA, that's great. Regardless of how you feel, that's just goes to show you evolution can evolve. It doesn't matter whether it's in the positive, negative, whatever you think it may be. Like, you either ride the waves or get sucked up by the tide. To that we say amen and God bless, brother. 2003, Valve launches Steam, a digital PC game store. Steam has 120 million active generated users. And Jesus, Steve's got 120 million active users and generated an estimated $8.6 billion in revenue in 2023. Yeah, that would make sense. They're the go-to marketplace for games. So then, after this, obviously you see a spike in PC gaming. And then 2007, the iPhone launches as handheld revenues peak and are overtaken by mobile games. 2007. The death of the handheld. Yeah, because that was like the PSP, the Nintendo DS. Whoa. Dude, the PSP was fire. So fire. Oh my God, look at you. You're fire. Released in 2005. Oh man, it only had 2 years. When was the DS release? Nintendo DS. 2004, 2005. Wow. PlayStation. Wow, guys. Wow. So, man, that's really incredible. The iPhone has changed so many things, and I you know that mobile gaming is huge, but when you really look at it, you're like, wow. Imagine just being a company that invested hundreds of millions of dollars in like the PSP or the Nintendo DS, and then just being like, well, actually, you know what, guys, let's rethink that. We're gonna need to develop for iPhone, so let's figure that out. And then investing all that money and time back into something else that you aren't 100% sure is going to reap the benefits. So 2011 to 2013, Minecraft in 2011, and GTA 5 2013 release, becoming the first and second best-selling games of all time. Wow. Wow. Okay. Fun theory. Industries. Tycoons. The way an industry works. Hollywood is going through this right now. Hold on. Let's break this down. So 1971 to 2011, Minecraft. In 2011, I was Minecraft generation and GTA 5 generation. I was in junior high and high school when these came out. Oh, elementary school, junior high and high school. And then, no, junior high and high school. So I have this little theory. Not theory, but it's Hollywood in terms of like filmmaking. The filmmaking industry is undergoing a massive change. I'm not the only one who's ever talked about this. There are other people who understand it way better than I do because they've worked in the industry and they get it. But it's very obvious that YouTube and just online content in general has completely shattered the model of Hollywood. You know, people can say that it's, because Hollywood went woke and because Hollywood went woke and all this stuff and people don't want to hear it and all that. And there's an element to that. No one wants to be like lectured at about movies. But if you make good movies, it doesn't matter what your messaging politically is behind it. If the movie is really good and engaging, people will watch it and people won't say much about it. And box offices have been slowly, taking a poopy doo-doo. I don't want to necessarily pull something up because I don't want to get too far away from this point. So Hollywood became an industry, I think, in like the 20s, the 30s with like vaudeville, and then they left and they established Hollywood. I think it was like the 20s, 30s, the Hollywood that we know, right? And then I argue that some of my friends, Justin, shout out, I love you. I hope you see this. Because we can have another conversation about this. They think that Hollywood is still Hollywood. I think Hollywood is dead. I think the golden era of Hollywood was like the 90s, probably, if you really think about it, because it was when special effects were good, but they weren't so good that it took away from people's creativity. And a lot of these, like, even new films, here's the thing, new films that are really, really good kind of just rewrap a lot of elements from those like really hit 90s films. So like a lot of the stuff that my generation loves that were movies that we loved and are like staples of our generation and might have been big box office hits were just kind of like anything that's not a franchise. It has to be like incredibly creative and well put together, and there's just not a lot of that. And that's what Hollywood was for, right? The creativity. And so you create these like golden age like staples, things that kind of just get rinsed and repeated, right? And then every once in a while there's a new great thing. But there hasn't been a lot of real creativity in Hollywood, and that's because a lot of the stuff that's, really interesting and blowing people's minds is coming from the internet, or is coming from these like weird avenues that is not traditional Hollywood. Like you have these K-dramas that are becoming incredibly popular, on Netflix now. There's all of these like random European filmmakers, Korean filmmakers, whatever, that are making these amazing movies that are incredibly creative, don't rely too much on special effects and stuff like that. So I think each industry, right, like tech, whatever, there's industries are always the same, but each giant within the industry, each trend, this is how the thing is done, only lasts about 100 years. And so Hollywood was established in the 1920s, 30s. We're now in the 2020s, going towards the 2030s. And we're establishing the new paradigm with like online content and stuff like that, with podcasts, with TikTok, with, YouTube videos, stuff like that. So it's a new way to interact with the idea of celebrity and content. And I think it's really interesting, the paradigm of like AAA gaming. So to bring it back to my point, the paradigm of AAA gaming, right? If you follow this same kind of philosophy, right? So we're in the halfway point ish. We're reaching the golden era. We're reaching the 80s, 90s of Hollywood in the gaming industry, right? So you have your Minecraft and GTA 5. Those are two like flagship games that a lot of games have basically just been recreations of different elements of those games. You either go super specific and take one part of that game and make it really cool and interesting, or you make a version of that game in an interesting world and tell a different story, right? So, I mean, if you just think of like all these different games that have come out in the past like 3-4 years, and then so let's continue with the graph, and then this kind of adds to my point. So 2011, 2013, Minecraft, GTA 5 come out. That makes me feel really old. That was 11 years ago. I was a child. Now I'm a grown man. I have facial hair. That's really sad. My knees hurt. My girlfriend just texted me. I got to make sure that she's okay. She's okay, everyone. It's fine. 2016, the launch of the first VR headset of the modern era, the Oculus Rift. 2016. When you look up here, you see VR, AR. So 6 years. Let's see, 2007 a lot of these other ones, I guess you can't really compare console and arcade because they were basically the two ones that started, but VR, AR has very specific use cases, in my opinion. I don't think it will ever overtake something like mobile, unless you make AR and mobile one category, which is super probable, honestly. I think wearable glasses is probably like the next evolution, if I had to say. A lot of people like wearing glasses for fashion. I mean, myself included, and for like blue light and stuff like that. So we already wear our Apple Watches. I think that the next way to kind of have an ease of interaction is going to be glasses, and that's just going to be an extension of mobile. So anyways, 2016, the Oculus Rift launches. That's crazy. I can't believe that was... I feel like it was much longer ago. I feel like that was in this 2011, 2013 era. It's kind of interesting how that all melts together. But in 2017, Fortnite launches and popularizes the Battle Pass system. It's not entirely true. The Battle Pass system was definitely... I mean, I guess maybe popularizes, like, if you don't necessarily need to nitpick each individual data point, but I had a thing with Fortnite for a while, boys and girls. Let me tell you something. So PUBG was out, And my friend showed me PUBG. And he was like, dude, battle royales are going to be the thing. My friend, Justin, shout out. I see you, my boy. And I hadn't been gaming for a little bit because it was a year of high school where I had a lot going on. And I slept over at his crib, and he was like, hey, you haven't been gaming. Let me show you, like, where things are going. He showed me PUBG and then, like, the Battle Royale thing, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And then Fortnite pops up, like, a few months later, and I hear a bunch of people playing Fortnite. And a bunch of people who were never gamers before were asking me if I still gamed because I was a big GTA kid. I was, you know, I was a nerdy boy, still am. And I wasn't really at the time, and people wanted me to play Fortnite with them, and I played a little bit of Fortnite, and I just didn't like it. I gotta be honest. I didn't like I just didn't like the game. I loved Apex. I don't play it anymore. I don't like battle royales. Battle royales make me tired. I get tired of them. They don't engage me, and that's that. But I love Fortnite because anyone who's been a lifelong gamer who's around my age can remember from like 5th grade to 9th grade. I had more friends online than I did in real life. And I'm not necessarily like, I'm a very social person. I always have been. I've always had plenty of friends, and I don't know why I'm being weird about that. I've always been very social and had plenty of friends, but it was more enjoyable to me to just chill, play video games, and have, like, you know, dude, the old Xbox layout where you could join different parties, like the OG Xbox 360 layout was unbeatable when it comes to just like chilling on the internet. There was nothing better. And they had the wireless mics. Oh God, I need to go back to that. Hold on, wait a minute. Side swipe. Xbox 360 party. What was it? Oh, dashboard. Bro, this gives me so much nostalgia. This one. Well, this is kind of when it started to get a little bit doo-doo. This was the OG. This one was pretty good. But this one, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Dude. And they're playing MW2, and then there's the little message icon, one of your other friends, whatever. 5 friends. Are you kidding me? What a loser. Join party and game. See, this right here, bro, if you had a full Xbox Live party, there is nothing more excruciatingly confusing than trying to play a game with people in a full Xbox Live party. It is so much noise and chaos and ridiculousness. But this Xbox 360 mic, bro, this used to hurt my head so bad. So bad. You would go through these like nothing. And then, yeah, the wireless mic. I remember I raged one time. I'm not a big rager when I game. And I got so mad one time that I took this and I threw it at the wall, and it shattered into a million pieces. And my mom came in, and she heard what it was, and I was trying to pick up the pieces. Bro, yeah. Just say, I never threw anything ever again after that. I was probably like 10, 11. And she was like, what in God's name got into you? Who do you think you are? And you know what, Mom? I'm sorry about that. But that just was some crazy nostalgia. But so from about 5th to 9th grade, I was living in that world. And then it just, 10th grade, because GTA 5 came out. GTA 5 came out. I was in high school. I made a bunch of new friends. And then it kind of fell off for a couple years. And then Fortnite comes out. And then in college, everyone's playing Fortnite all over the place, and it brought a bunch of people back into the gaming fold. And then that's also too where you see PC gaming jump up real quick because a lot of people got PCs. A lot of people wanted to build all crazy, and that's why I will always love and respect Fortnite. And then, okay, yeah, that's it. Oh, 2020, Among Us becomes a pandemic phenomenon as lockdowns push game revenues higher. Games like Genshin Impact refine the formula of free-to-play with microtransactions. That is incredibly true. I don't really know how much else to dissect this other than it's a pretty dope visualization. And when you really see how much more money mobile games make than PC and console games, it's kind of interesting, kind of scary. I think there's a lot of room to make mobile games. I mean, there's a lot of room to make all sorts of different new games, but I don't know. There's the thing of like, do you reinvent the wheel or do you do things that have already worked with just like cool branding to the people that you're trying to market towards? And it depends on the kind of person you are, what kind of answer you give. I enjoy novelty and experimentation, so I think there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of browser-based mobile games, because processing power on phones and stuff like that, like one-off experience mobile games or like two-off experience mobile games, and then I'm not even gonna give y'all sauce like that. You know what? That's been Mitch Wayne's World for today. Enjoy your Saturday. Go and kiss someone you love, or don't. Don't be violent. Don't do anything bad. Go talk to someone you care about and tell them that you love them. Or tell yourself that you love yourself. Go play a mobile game. Go to an arcade. Actually, you know what? Go to an arcade and get some quarters. Go to an old school arcade. Get some quarters. Slide them bad boys in there. And go tell your uncle that he's absolute trash. All right.